observation model. He is 21 years of age. He is fully developed and his stage of learning is intermediate. For task characteristics, it's low complexity because it's a fine motor skill, and then it's a serial classification because there's no discrete beginning and end, but it is a continuous skill as well. The Y is to improve performance, pretty much is to improve his confidence. The what is verbal cues. The who is a skilled model. The how is in real time and objective view, so he gets a better cognitive description and can see better. And then the when would be before practice. For feedback, our what is KP descriptive because we are describing to him what he is either doing right or wrong and how to improve it. The how is verbal because Rymal said so, and when is terminal augmented because we are telling him how to fix it after he's done. So these are heel lace pads. They prevent irritation on the skin, so these are really sensitive areas, so you just want to put those down when you're taping. And then you want to start with your pre-wrap. It's kind of stretchy, but it doesn't stick to the skin. This also helps prevent irritation on the skin as well. You just want to wrap it around. Not too tight, not too loose. You want to go about right there on the calf. Some athletes are different. They're either going to be, some might like it higher, some might like it a little lower, but I'll just start for there right now. I'm going to start with you'll start with your tape and make sure the foot is flexed. You're going to start up here and you'll do 2 to 3 anchor strips. So this is an anchor strip that pretty much just holds this pre-wrap down in place. So there's my second one. With that, you're going to take your tape again and you're going to place it right here on the medial side of the ankle and pull it down and around to the lateral side, just like that. You're going to want to do 2 to 3 of these. They're called stirrups. So 2 to 3. This also helps provide some stability in the ankle. And when you're doing this, make sure you're not cutting into like the arch of the foot. You want to make sure it's low enough on the calcaneus. Okay. Next is just some fillers. So these aren't really to provide support. They're just to fill in any little holes in the tape that you'll have. So you just go down and you're going to want to continue to do the medial to lateral. You don't want to go lateral to medial because you don't want the foot to be inverted. All right, and from there we're going to start our heel locks. So make sure the foot again is still flexed. You're going to want to start on the lateral side of the malleolus. You're going to pull it down around towards the back of the heel, around this way to the back of the ankle or the Achilles, and up across the front of the foot. And then you'll rip your tape. And then again, you want to do that just from the medial side. So we take it from the medial side, come down and around again, just go in the opposite direction, around the back of the Achilles and up to the front. So you're going to want to do 2 of these on both sides. Next is our figure 8s. So you're going to start a little higher on that malleolus on the lateral side as well. You're going to come down and around, but instead of going around the foot, you're going to come back around the top of the foot, and that's your figure 8. I like to do 2, so if you would like, you can always do a second one, just like that. And then from now, you just make sure there's no holes in your tape. I always like to do one strip of tape here to kind of prevent any little holes that might be there. And then I like to go around the foot like that, so it's high enough for the athlete up there. And you come around and just clean it up a little. this one. Make sure when you do your anchor strips, you overlap them. So about halfway you want to overlap them so we don't have any gaps. And also make sure you are pulling medial to lateral. You actually pulled lateral to medial, so make sure you're pulling medial to lateral to keep that foot a little bit everted, because inversion is not what we want. And then make sure your angles are a little bit more focused on where you're going for the foot.
Okay, awesome. Oh my god.
So a lot better on making sure it went medial to lateral. For your angles, try to separate your figure 8 from your heel lock. That's why your ankles are a little bit off. So if you do your figure 8 first, rip it, and then start your heel lock for that, it'll be a little bit better when it comes to your angles and you won't have so much wrinkle.
Okay.
A lot better. The only thing I think, if I'm being picky, is cover up the holes, because all athletes are really picky. So if they see a hole, they're like, oh, it's not going to be as good. It has nothing to do with really it being better. So it looks a lot better overall. I would just say, other than that, just cover the holes.
Cool.
Use for ankle too.
The anchors, the heel locks, the figure 8. Wow. No? What the f- Tension all rolled up. Yeah, it's probably all wrong.
So for this one, because the bottom is a little wrinkly, you're gonna want to do more of a steep angle. You went off of the lateral malleolus instead of doing a little steeper of an angle, so you were still getting the angle of what you would do for a heel lock, but you just need a little steeper. And then same, so that's for your figure eights. And then make sure you always add an extra like cover up strip. So if you have that, you'll take it and just cover it so it looks a little neater on the bottom if there's a wrinkle.
Okay.